this is very interesting. Internet Anarchist is what I consider to be a very reliable content creator, as well as makes very reliable videos. Pretty straightforward and pretty accurate a lot of the times. This video got dislike bombed. It's about Baby No Money and how Baby No Money's audience is betraying him. It looks like Baby No Money's audience is still in full active force of attempting to attack and discredit anybody going against him. So let's watch this. Let's be fair. And obviously, you guys, I know I have a massive negative bias towards Baby No Money after he censored Asmongold in that music video because he's a massive performative. Let's talk about it. Let's attempt to be fair here.
Everyone has a mask they show to the world. That's just part of being human. There's a version of you that people see, and then there's who you are when you're alone. Maybe you act a little differently when you're with friend group A compared to when you're with friend group B.
Okay, so I totally understand this. Me with my friends versus me with my family is a completely different human being. And that's not being fake. That is properly integrating yourself into what environment you find yourself in, right? But I don't fake any parts of me. I just won't show certain parts of me and I won't say certain words. You know, I'm not going to go up to my grandma or my grandpa and throw around the words like or the N-word. Well, my grandpa might do that. But, you know, like, I understand how you might act different depending on the environment of which you're in. The problem is when people promote morals and values they don't have in order to fit in with those groups, not necessarily acting in more accordance to the people you find yourself within, right? There's a difference between being a truthful version of yourself in both scenarios versus becoming a fraudulent version of yourself in order to fit in. Very different.
Maybe you remove a few words from your vocabulary when you're in polite company and not cracking a cold one with the boys.
Exactly. You know, you're at a party with the boys drinking beer versus you're at work during your 9 to 5. You see what I'm saying?
Everyone has masks, but for the most part, people still stick to their core values and beliefs regardless of whatever mask they wear. But what happens when you don't? What if someone builds an image that doesn't reflect what they actually believe at all, just to make as much money as possible? Meet Baby No Money, a
perfect way to describe this man. Scathing. Scathing. We are going straight for the jugular with this one. This is great.
Canadian rapper and singer known for being very outspoken on progressive issues. He's been especially vocal about supporting artists and—
That's crazy because when we had food back in Austin, Texas, he didn't give a about this
pushing back against AI.
He would also tell me how he agrees with everything Asmongold says, how Asmongold is based as and how he's his favorite streamer. And this is true because when he went to BlizzCon, he says, and I quote, Asmongold's my favorite streamer, and painted an image of his face on his chest, to then inviting Asmongold to a video, to then censoring Asmongold's face and saying, I stand against everything he says. Very interesting what fame will do to him.
He's taken strong public stances, even going as far as removing Asmongold from one of his music videos. However, recently, he's been criticized for not properly crediting or compensating artists he's worked with, which clashes pretty hard with the image he's been putting out.
I am so excited for 5 years from now when AI is in everything and how it makes everything better. I can't wait to gatekeep all of AI away from these that said that AI was bad. Guys, you know for a fact I have been vouching for AI since day one because I'm not retarded and I know how good it can be for this world, and it is getting better and better and better. It's going to make products cheaper. It's going to make medical science advance faster. It's going to make consumers have to pay less. It's great. Everybody's about it because they're stupid as I can't wait when I get to use it, and none of them are.
Hi, I'm the internet
AI is good as long as things get better. I agree, guys. I'll be real. I don't want to pay $100,000 for a piece of paper when I can get AI to make it for me for a quarter in about half a second.
anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and
great.
today, we're going to be covering Baby No Money, an internet rapper who's been under fire from every direction over the past few months. This is the story of a creator who attached his gold-plated mask with Gorilla Glue, only to realize that masks eventually crack.
Yep.
Baby No Money's real name is Alex, and it's how I'm going to refer to him from now on, because Baby No Money is really annoying to say out loud. For those of you who don't know, Alex is a hugely popular rapper who's built a reputation as someone who doesn't sell out. By 2024 and into early 2025, that image was paying off in a big way. He had over 14.6 million monthly listeners.
That really sucks that he used to be just like a good, honest dude, and then fame got to him and he sold out just like everybody else.
On Spotify, over 1 billion streams on his song La La La, a Juno Awards win, sold out tours, and a really dedicated fan base. We don't need to go through his whole career step by step, but it's worth saying this clearly. He's a big name. Even if you haven't heard of him, this isn't some random guy uploading songs online. He's packing venues and performing in front of thousands of people. What actually makes him interesting isn't the usual career.
God, that tells you everything you need to know about these two, is how affiliated Iron Mouse is with Baby No Money, because these are really just the brand safe, we want you to say this thing, so you're going to go and say it, and these two go, okay, as long as I get paid. It's ridiculous. Like, and you know what the worst thing is? Do you know how many subs I lost about calling out Iron Mouse? And the worst thing is, I'm absolutely right about everything I say. But once again, it's another one of those scenarios where people aren't ready to accept that, and so I'm gonna get until people find the out. It's so annoying, bro. It's been like this my entire career. I get so much for saying the truth too early before everybody's ready to accept it. And that's why they slander me so much. It's
timeline. It's his mask, the version of himself he presents to the world. Like I mentioned earlier, Alex is very outspoken when it comes to progressive issues. LGBTQ topics, anti-ICE sentiments, things broadly in that lane.
I'm sorry, if you were saying guys, everybody needs to know. That tells everybody everything that they need to know. That you are a complete retard. If you don't want illegal immigrants out of this country, you're literally just retarded.
If it's even...
There might be some downsides. Guess what? I don't give a The downsides are worth the overall gain. Oh my God, but did you hear what happened in this one city? Yeah, I don't care, because it needs to happen. If you don't want people causing issues and getting beat by ICE, then maybe they should operate within the law, and also, I don't know, maybe have come here legally. You don't get to break the law and then get upset with how you're punished. Maybe just don't break the law first. I don't care who ICE have hurt. I don't care who has died. It needs to happen. Illegals need to get the out of our country. It's very simple. It sucks and it's sad, but being sad doesn't mean that people get to break the Constitution. Being sad doesn't mean that people get to break the law. It's really that simple.
Slightly progressive, there's a good chance he's talked about it publicly or brought it into his shows. A lot of that public image rests on a few key ideas. He's very, very vocal about being against AI-generated content and says he supports real artists. He also would make a statement reading,
"It's crazy how he says he supports real artists, but he won't support real women because he believes in trans rights. This guy is such a ignorant."
I am becoming progressively more worried for our humanity due to extensively edifying improvements to AI-generated content media. From blatant misinformation to even the recent commercial adaptations of AI. Please be wary with what you see or hear online. AI sucks and we need to stand up against it. The second pillar of his success is his perceived knowledge of internet culture, video games, and stuff like that, especially streamers like Pokimane and Asmongold. Back in 2024, before Asmongold started shifting into more political content, Alex was openly a fan. He even got a tattoo of him and showed it off during a show.
This question is Asmongold, baby! I love my parents, don't forget to Twitch Prime sub.
That version of things didn't last. This channel spends a lot of time talking about image, the version of yourself you project online. The branding, the reputation, the way people package themselves for an audience. But honestly, I've always thought the details that exist off camera matter just as much. Not long after, anything related to that got wiped from his socials. But that cleanup didn't happen fast enough to keep it out of his 2025 music video for Mary Poppins. The video opens with a disclaimer saying, "At the time of recording, I was unaware of certain individuals' ethical beliefs."
If you have an issue with what Asmongold says, you're retarded. He doesn't say anything egregious. He doesn't say anything crazy. He just says what normal guys think. I can understand if you have a problem with what I say, because I take it a step further than what Asmongold does, and that's completely fine. I like how reasonable Asmongold tries to be, but my perspective is you're not going to change people by being reasonable, because if we were, the world would have changed a long time ago. Unfortunately, we're going to either have to play like these people and be just as bad as them or be worse. It's like Asmongold said, "Oh, dude, you're not a real woman if you're trans, obviously." And then I said, "Yeah, you're not transgender. Anybody who's cut off their own dick doesn't make you transgender. It makes you a retarded, right? Because you need to hurt these people, because otherwise they're going to hurt you."
As a result, I've chosen to censor those whose values I do not support.
Yeah, all of what? Because he said that countries that have ethics, or countries that have genocide baked into their culture are inferior? Yeah, obviously. Duh. No shit. Obviously, any country that has genocide built into their culture is inferior. No shit. Obviously, no one should give a what a illiterate goat thinks about in Afghanistan about what's going on in America. Who gives a Nobody. And if you give a so much about what they think, then why don't you listen to them about what they think about women, which is they shouldn't have an opinion. You should chop off their clitorises so they can't enjoy sex, and wrap them up in a black curtain so you can't see them, and revoke their right to vote. But it's crazy how you won't do that, but then you act like you care so much about what they say. Obviously, nobody gives a about what these retards think or do or say. So why do we got to damn anybody who's just saying the truth?
Then it cuts to a guy sitting on a throne with a lizard covering his face, very clearly being Asmongold. If you watch the video, it's actually kind of funny how much focus he gets. He's all over it, to the point where he almost feels like the main character instead of Alex. People picked up on that right away, and it quickly became the main thing everyone was talking about, more so than the song itself. What made this even more revealing was who he didn't censor. Mizkif was also in the video, and he had his own well-documented history of using slurs and even faced domestic abuse allegations. But none of that got the same treatment. Many have pointed out that Alex only seemed to act against people whose controversies had enough public visibility to create a PR problem, regardless of what people thought.
If you're going to censor Asmongold, but you're not going to censor Mizkif, you're just retarded. Oh, by the way, fun fact, this is the truth, by the way. I was invited to attend that music video. This is the truth. And I said, no thanks, I'm good. I knew some dumb shit like this was going to happen. And it's nice being right once again.
This is a perfect example of how Alex operates when it comes to anything political. He used to be a fan of someone and could have even believed in some of the stuff Asmongold was saying, but instead of just owning it, he immediately folded to the extremely performative audience that he had created. Yep. This is his MO, and as we'll see going forward, it's what caused what happened a few months later. Most artists follow a pretty predictable path when they blow up. They get picked up by a label.
I want to point this out here. Let's just go ahead and show this. So in this one music
that he
video,
had created, this is his MO, and as we'll see going forward, it's what caused what happened.
So we're okay with talking about.
It's what caused.
We're okay with doing gay and showing gay.
What happened a few months.
We're okay with women prostituting themselves
later.
We're not okay because we said that societies who have genocide built into their cultures are inferior. Like, what the even is this, bro? Like, this guy is so retarded, it's insane.
Artists follow
and that was literally less than 2-second snippets of his 4-minute music video. I guarantee if we watch that, we will see exactly what type of man this is. which is a man who loves promoting the poison to the mind of our youth.
Pretty predictable path when they blow up. They get picked up by a label, marketing kicks in, and suddenly they're everywhere, whether you were looking for them or not. Alex didn't come up like that. His rise was way more internet native. He built his name in the trenches of Twitter, TikTok, and direct collaborations. Instead of waiting for industry cosigns, he leaned into viral culture. It felt organic, like he was part of the same internet ecosystem as everyone else, instead of sitting above it. And for a while, that approach worked almost perfectly. It gave him a kind of credibility that a lot of bigger artists don't have. He wasn't just another industry product.
Yeah, that's the thing that sucks, that BBNO Money used to feel like he was one of the boys. But then he just became a corporate shill like everybody else, like Billie Eilish. That's what sucked so much about it. It blows. It does. I mean, I've even done collabs from BBNO Money back in the day too. And he felt like a good dude. But he's just another sheep and wolf, or a wolf in sheep's clothing. You know, he wants to act like he's one of the boys. He's just like you and me. He's just another corporate sellout, bro. It's so annoying.
He was one of us, or at least that's how it came across. But once you start looking closer, the cracks begin to show. This all started with an artist named Raisame, who got contacted by Alex's team for an animation meme. This was their first real commission, so naturally, they were excited. Getting noticed by someone at that level feels like a huge opportunity, especially when you're just starting out. The problem is, they didn't even talk about payment up front. That alone is a massive mistake in any kind of creative work.
Of course.
Usually, rates are discussed before anything starts.
Obviously.
That way, both sides know what they're agreeing to. In this case, the artist went ahead and made the animation without locking that in. Once the work was finished, the offer finally came in, around $100. Now, if you know anything about animation, you already know that's low. Like, really, really low. And
Absolutely.
it wasn't until the artist talked to friends that it fully clicked how much of an underpayment that was. They pushed back a bit, asked for more, and the team raised it slightly to around $150. That's still nowhere near what that kind of work usually goes for. To be clear, they did get paid. This isn't a situation where someone just didn't get anything. But focusing only on that misses the bigger issue. The process itself was messy, no clear agreement, low initial offer, and a new artist being put in a position where they didn't really know how to advocate for.
It's also because it's like, dude, look at these prices for such a small piece of art. Like, this is so unrealistic for any normal human being. Like, anybody complaining that artists can't charge as much now, they're just stupid, because the everyman couldn't afford this ever, right? So thank God for AI, bro. Thank God, because it actually made art more accessible, made animation more accessible to everybody.
Themselves. Now, compare that to the second situation, which is where things really start to blow up. Another artist gets commissioned, this time more experienced, someone who already has an established rate. For this kind of animation, they usually
Slade.com. This guy hates me so much. And then he tried to expose me for like 2-3 years ago, being like, yo, can you make a blowjob video of Widowmaker? Like what, bro? What? I'm sorry that I was finna bust. My bad. My bad. Hey, you can't hate a previous porn addict for gooning. Can't hate it. Hey, we're still trying every day to get better, man. It's difficult. It is what it is.
For this kind of animation, they usually charge around $700. When Alex's team reaches out, they say they can only do half. And this is where the whole exposure angle comes in. They finish the animation, send it over, and expect the usual deal. A repost, some engagement, something to push their work out to a bigger audience. That never really happens. The post doesn't get boosted the way the other animations did. There was no meaningful follow-through. From the artist's perspective, the whole reason they accepted a lower rate just vanished. So they reach out. At first, they're just trying to understand what went wrong. Did they miss something? Was there an issue with the animation? But instead of getting a clear answer, they're met with silence. Eventually, there's some communication with the social media manager, but it doesn't resolve much. The responses were vague, kind of dismissive, and didn't really match what was originally implied. Then comes the explanation. They're told that Alex didn't realize the artist made not safe for work content. And
yo, guys, we got infighting in the chat. We got US Patriot 606 versus Broseph Stalin, bro. Get your popcorn out. We got PvP in the chat. Let's go. Yo, choose your side. Gas up your fighters. Grab your pitchforks. Yeah, get them, bro. Get them. Hey, I heard they were both talking hella about each other. They better argue about this for at least half an hour.
And that after following them, more of that content started showing up. According to the artist, this wasn't hidden information, it was clear from the start. So now the situation shifts. It's no longer just about money or exposure, it starts looking like someone was fine to work with behind the scenes, but not okay to publicly associate with once their content didn't fit a certain image. Keep in mind, a major part of Alex's whole brand is built around supporting artists. The artist in this situation kept trying to get some kind of resolution, sending follow-ups, asking direct questions, and trying to get clarity, but nothing really ever came of it. This is what caused them to quote tweet one of Alex's tweets, essentially saying that if you're a not safe for work artist, don't collaborate with him. What made this hit even harder was the double standard.
That's crazy how he's against working with a not safe for work artist, but in his music video, he had 8 literal pornography actresses in the video. So once again, why is it a problem to make animated porn, but it's bad to make animated porn, but it's fine to make real porn? Makes no sense to me.
The artist pointed out that Alex regularly collaborates with and pays AWEF models significantly more for his content, reportedly around $2,000 per collaboration, while using not safe for work content as the reason he couldn't even repost their animation.
Yep.
That contradiction is really what turned this from a minor dispute into something that stuck. This post would completely blow up, and even get Alex's original tweet about supporting artists community nerded.
I mean, listen, I can acknowledge that Slade is an absolute hyper-obsessive schizo, while also saying he was 100% right in the scenario, and Baby No Money's a piece of shit for not paying him properly.
Vindication on this.
Because you could have used AI, but you're choosing to work with real artists, but then you're not abiding by what the artist wants. Very interesting. Is it because you also agree that artists charge way too much?
Performative asshole. Sucks this happened to you, and I hope you get something out of this, but now you see who he truly is. After the backlash hit, Alex reached out himself, apologized, and offered to pay the full rate instead of the discounted one. On paper, that sounds like the situation should have been resolved, but by that point, the damage had already been done. The artist turned it down, making it clear that they were no longer interested in the money. What they wanted instead was a public acknowledgement that matched the scale of what really had happened, and that never came. From there, the situation started to spread. Screenshots were posted, including DMs and emails, and more pieces of the interaction began circulating online. As that happened, other artists started sharing their own experiences, and a pattern began to take shape. People talked about low offers, inconsistent communication, and a heavy reliance on exposure as part of the pitch. There were also
I'll pay you in exposure. Oh, thank God. Hey, landlord, I'm not paying my rent today with money. No, I'm gonna pay you with the exposure I got. Oh, okay, great.
Complaints that engagement seemed to depend on how well a post performed than on any kind of consistent support from Alex or his team. I've seen him commission a ton of people, including a friend of mine, and only offering like $100. It made me a bit uncomfortable how low the pricing he gave was. At the same time, it was not completely one-sided. Some artists came forward and said they had genuinely good experiences. They described being paid fairly, having clear communication, and running into no issues at all. As one of the animators he has commissioned, I can confirm that I was paid. Mistakes can happen, and by the looks of it, Baby No Money tried to make it right. Alex eventually addressed everything publicly. There is conversation regarding me not paying creatives for commissions. One individual has been relentlessly harassing me because of an oversight on me not reposting their content. Relentlessly
harassing me. AKA telling the truth about what I did. Okay.
Ago, I offered to pay his full rate and formally apologized for being unable to repost his content to lead my audience to find his page. It was a fundamental oversight on my behalf, although they haven't stopped harassing me. I have never not paid out animators. I have commissioned thousands of artists, and I will continue to commission more because I believe in propelling art forward. From his point of view, it
just art that you approve of, right? Not art that you disapprove of. It's kind of like politics. You have an issue with those unless you say the right ones, like trans rights and guys and Donald Trump should kill himself and AI bad. Yeah, of course, man. All right.
Came across as a mistake that had been blown out of proportion. From the outside, though, it did not feel that simple. When someone builds their image around supporting artists, speaking out against AI, and doing things the right way, people are naturally going to hold them to a higher standard. There is less room for inconsistency and less willingness to brush things off as minor mistakes. That is really what all of this comes down to. It's not just about whether artists were paid, it is about whether the way they were treated actually lined up with the image being presented to millions of people.
Speaking of minor mistakes, has Lakari come back to stream yet? Is that streaming yet? Is that ball streaming yet or no?
From an outsider's perspective, it looks like Alex was just saying all of those things to build a brand of fans and profit off of them instead of genuinely believing it. After the artists Alex had commissioned started speaking up, that was basically the moment where anything even remotely tied to him started getting picked apart. More artists came forward saying he hadn't properly credited them, and it wasn't just people on Twitter either. Other TikTok creators started calling him out too, accusing him of straight up plagiarism. Ooh. One of the bigger ones was a creator named Dearest Sinner.
And the worst thing of all, they found out that he was white.
Made a video saying Alex never credited her as the inspiration. If you actually look at both videos side by side, it's pretty obvious what happened. Alex clearly saw her original post and decided to run with the same idea. Obviously. It's basically the exact same video, just swapped out with him dressed as Leon in a thong. There's not really any subtlety here. Eventually, he did update his Instagram bio to credit her, and Sinner even acknowledged that in a tweet. But she also pointed out that he never fixed the TikTok's description, which is the one that actually blew up and got way more views. Side note, these TikToks he makes are wild on their own. Most of them are him cross-dressing, sometimes even as characters like Pomni or Leon.
It's also really gay.
I'm skinny. I'm ugly. I'm pretty. I'm weird. I'm wicked.
A few months later, another wave of backlash hit when a tweet went viral accusing him of being racist along with an audio clip that supposedly had him saying the N-word.
I don't care. I don't care. Dude, if you're a white guy and you want to say the N-word, I don't give a f***. You're not racist because you said a word. Okay, but the reason why this is ridiculous is because he would be someone who preached you cannot do this while doing this. And he has built up a community that says no to these people while he himself does the same. I don't give a f*** if you say the N-word. If anything, wow, I didn't know Baby No Money was this based. Who cares?
Clip got passed around like crazy, but the situation behind it was a complete mess, with people twisting things and straight up lying. The only part that actually matters is that it wasn't even him in the audio, and he came out and said that directly. These songs are not mine, guys. That is 61 Banks, an artist I signed 7 years ago to my defunct record label. At that point, even Alex himself was acknowledging how much hate was coming his way. He started posting about it both on Twitter and TikTok.
Yes, because you're appealing to the lowest common denominator where these people hate their lives. What do you think they're going to do? Be reasonable with you while they're unreasonable with everybody else? Obviously not. That's why you don't empower these people, because they're retarded.
Reacting to everything that had been...
sorry, if you're someone that says trans rights, ICE, kill Donald Trump, AI's bad, you're just retarded. You are. You're just stupid. I don't know, I hate it if you found out this way, but you are quite literally a brainwashed retard. And I would love to have an argument or a discussion with anybody who preaches all of those morals. You are quite literally just retarded.
Piling up around him.
Also, if you say abortion is just a clump of cells, I would love to have a discussion on that.
It's important to keep in mind here that even with all of this going on, Alex is still doing completely fine career-wise. His tour is still happening, his performances are still moving forwards like nothing ever happened, and if anything, the numbers show that he's actually more relevant right now than he's been for a while. Despite—
Let me double check. Let's see if that's actually real. Because a lot of people get these numbers wrong for some reason. Baby, no money. All right, so I've gotten 25.6 million views in the past month, whereas Baby No Money has gotten 67 million. Meaning that Baby No Money is somewhere between like 2 to 3 times more relevant than me. Take that as you will. Yeah, honestly, he's doing okay. Hey, and he has a music video from this year and last year that's doing very well. No, I mean, Baby No Money really has nothing to worry about. However, people who like him for him are most likely falling off. However, his music is still quite good for, you know, his target demographic.
Like he got in March from all of this drama basically proves that. Yep. But honestly, that's not even the point here. If we're being real, this whole controversy barely even deserves that label. Most of it is just people blowing way out of proportion. I seriously doubt Alex was sitting there like some cartoon villain rubbing his hands together and laughing about underpaying artists. When you commission over 100 people, yeah, some things are going to fall through the cracks. That's just how it works. And if we're talking about 1 or 2 people out of that many, that's not some insane failure. That's a relatively normal margin of error, whether people want to admit it or not. What this actually comes down to is the kind of audience that latches onto stuff like this and runs with it. The real issue is the image he built and how clean and polished it was. When you present yourself as someone who never has any controversy, never messes up, and never does anything wrong, you're basically setting yourself up for this exact situation. 100%. You create this version of yourself that isn't even realistic. And then the second something small comes out, people lose their minds over it. Because it doesn't match the perfect version they had in their head. That's why the reaction feels so over the top. It's not really about what he did, it's about the fact that it broke the illusion. People had already decided who he was supposed to be, and anything that doesn't line up with that hits way harder than it normally would. Meanwhile, creators who have always been a little messy don't get hit the same, because nobody expected perfection from them in the first place.
That's why I present myself as an asshole, that way nobody's surprised when they find out that I'm an asshole.
Funny part is that a little bit of controversy actually helps. It makes you look like a real person instead of some fake, untouchable version of one. The people who actually get wrecked by scandals aren't the ones who slip up once in a while, they're the ones who spend years pretending they never would. Pokimane being a perfect example, who Alex has even collaborated with in the past. At the end of the day, Alex will most likely be fine financially, and have a very successful music career going forwards. But he is the definition of being captured by your audience, and he is at the mercy of whether or not he can keep up the facade for long enough. If I were a betting man, I would bet that he will be held to higher and soon impossible to maintain ethical standards by the very mob he currently wishes to please. Then
he will be consumed by the very people he panders to, because he panders to weak-minded retards. That's an amazing video that was dislike bombed because those fans that he panders to cannot handle the truth. Great video as always.